It's time for the Christmas decorations.
Christmas decoration. Christmas decorations.
It's time for the Christmas decorations. It is the 1st of November. Halloween is over. We don't care about your little pumpkins no more. It is time for Christmas decorations, okay? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Love Marbie, where we talk about all things home, heart, and hosting. If you are new here, I am Michelle Marbie Davies, an avid lover of Christmas and Christmas decorating. But if you don't know me, just imagine if Oprah and Martha Stewart had a baby. I would basically be the end result because I love dinner parties, gathering people, and I also love rich, deep conversations, and that is what I share across all my platforms. Now, I am super hyper excited today. Why? Because it is time for the Christmas decorations. My Christmas tree is up. I am going to be showing you guys that through different vlogs and in this video as well. And I'm so excited because I absolutely love Christmas. Like, I didn't grow up in a Christmas focused or Christmas heavy family, but baby, it is my season, okay? Now, in this video, I wanted to walk you through some tips on how to achieve an elegant Christmas look, Christmas decor, and then in other videos as well, we're gonna get into how I actually style things in my home. I will be traveling, so I'm recording this video before I travel, and then when I come back, we will continue with the Christmas decorations, but today we are gonna cover the basics. The first tip is that you need to invest in a few pieces that will last you a long time. You do not wanna keep going out and buying the same things over and over again because you bought poor quality. And buying good pieces doesn't mean you need to break the bank. I am a faux Christmas tree girl. I use fake Christmas trees and fake Christmas garlands, but I've just bought a few pieces that I know will last me a long time. And honestly, it makes a difference. This will make sure that every single year you don't need to go out and buy another Christmas tree. You don't need to go out and buy more baubles. You just pick a few pieces that are high quality and you invest in them and you know they will stay with you for a while. The second tip is to give those pieces some TLC, okay? Sometimes it's not that the pieces are too cheap. It's just that you haven't given it enough love. You haven't spent time fluffing the tree and fluffing the garlands. You need to put on a good album, preferably from the 90s or the 2000s, and fluff away. Baby, it's gonna take longer than you ideally anticipate, but it will pay off in the end. I always say a good rule of thumb is if you are looking at your tree and you can see through the tree without any baubles before you've put anything on it, you haven't fluffed it enough. You need to branch by branch, flick up, flick left, flick right, down, like, I can't remember the rule, but I just try to make sure I cannot see through my tree, and I just lift the branches in different directions so that all the bases are covered. But right through from the bottom of the tree all the way to the top, you need to spend some good time fluffing. Put on a good album and zone out and just fluff away, baby. Fluff, okay? The third tip is that you need to pick a color scheme, but there's a few caveats to this. I feel like it helps to have a cohesive room. You don't have to pick one color scheme all throughout the house, but it helps to have some sort of cohesion when you have a color scheme that's predominant in the room and you incorporate it in different ways. So you can use baubles to add the color scheme. You can use ribbons, you can use ornaments, you can use so many things, but pick a color scheme. However, the caveat that I would add is you need to find ways to balance it out, to ground it. Think of it like an outfit. I always say with so many things, color theory is kind of the same. With an outfit, I might have all red on, but I might decide to balance it out with a bit of black. I feel like it's the same when it comes to your home, a tablescape, a Christmas tree, right? For example, I have finally taken the leap and decided to do burgundy red this year. It's always been a bit nerve-wracking for me because I am more of a burnt orange, brown babe. Like normally my Christmas decorations are in this category, brown and burnt orange. But I was like, you know what, Michelle, you've wanted to do burgundy for a while. Let's do it. Now, I'm gonna show you guys how I pull that together. The thing that I'm bearing in mind with some great examples I've seen is that you need to find ways to balance it out. I've seen people do burgundy, red trees, and then they add a bit of rose gold to it or some navy blue, which sounds crazy. But again, it's just like an outfit. It's like I might have a red dress on, but I might pick navy blue shoes or rose gold shoes, like whatever it is, or my jewelry, right? You pick accent colors that sometimes help you to ground things. And I think of it the same way even when I'm arranging flowers. I will have my predominant flowers in there, but I also want certain things, whether it's foliage or other filler flowers, that will help to balance things out and ground it or make it feel more grounded so that it's not just a lot of red in your face. So I'm gonna see how I figure it out. Yeah, I might add some browns in there because again, I feel like they would complement each other. It doesn't sound like it, but they would. And I might try to also add some rose gold in. So we'll see how that turns out and we'll play around and figure it out. The fourth tip is to learn how to use a variety of Christmas decorations because this will add some visual interest throughout your space. So not just baubles, you want to be able to decorate with flower picks or with ornaments or nutcrackers, reindeer, Christmas cones, trees, anything that you can add in your space, even ribbon. You want to learn learn how to decorate your space with things that just aren't baubles or just aren't, you know, the typical Christmas decorations that you might think of. And even if they are typical, try and add some interest by using different textures. Which leads on nicely to tip number 5, which is that you need to be able to get some baubles or some Christmas decorations for the tree. I don't know if every country calls them baubles, but you need to learn to get some Christmas baubles or ornaments for your tree that aren't just glittery and shiny. Add some texture. I love velvet baubles for this. I believe on some websites they are called flocked baubles, but they just work a treat. Honestly, have some baubles and some Christmas ornaments that aren't just glittery and shiny, because they help to balance each other out. On the tree, it adds some visual interest. I mean, look at these together already. Super gorgeous. Even in terms of having depth and detail in the bauble itself, like the fact that this isn't just, it doesn't feel one-dimensional. I can see that they've played with the color on the bauble itself. It makes such a difference to your tree overall. Now, a bonus tip when it comes to your tree is to decorate the middle of the tree, right inside, right at the center. I feel like oftentimes people start on the outside and they give no love to the middle. But the truth is, it has an impact on how full and textured your tree feels. My hack is to put the baubles that aren't my favorite, that I don't love, in the middle of the tree, because you can still catch a glimpse of them, but they aren't prominent right on the outside. And I feel like this is such a great hack. There are some bauble packs and ornament packs that will come with some that you just don't love. Stick those in the middle of the tree. Like, really get in there. You need to make sure you're decorating all the way to the center. And you can just add cheaper baubles, baubles that are inexpensive or baubles that you don't love, into the middle of the tree. The next tip for a luxe Christmas experience is to focus on scent. You know how much I love scent. You know how much I feel like it impacts your well-being and your mood. And even if you're hosting, think about changing your scent profiles in your home for the festive season. You might have a scent that you typically have going on through the house, but maybe just switch it up for this period. If you like the smell of pine and that kind of Christmas tree scent, then go ahead with that. I'm not a huge lover of that. I think the only thing that I do like, I can't remember the scent. If I do, I'll put it in the caption. I don't know if it's fir or something else, like FIR, but I don't love all Christmas scents, and maybe instead I might go for things that feel like a bit of a Christmas citrus scent. Like if I was to put together a simmering pot of Christmas spices like cinnamon and things like that, then I would lean towards that. So it's just finding something you love. For me, what feels like a great festive scent that I love is Jo Malone's orange bitters, or bitter orange. I can't remember what it's called. Bitter orange. It's like my favorite candle scent. I love having it going even when it's not Christmas. But for me, that doesn't feel too traditional. It doesn't feel like it smells like a Christmas tree, but it still feels very festive. Like what I would imagine a beautiful cabin on a ski trip might smell like. It's absolutely sensational. The next tip is to bring in foliage. I absolutely adore adding foliage to my Christmas tree. As in, I have a fake Christmas tree, but I love being able to add real foliage into it. So I get pics, and you can do this from your flower market, from B&Q, from Lowe's, from Home Depot. They will sometimes have golden cypress or pine leaves or whatever it is, cedar leaves. Was it cedar? Cedar, I don't know which one. But you can just poke these into the tree, and I'll show you this in another video. But honestly, it makes a huge difference because it just adds some color and some texture and some visual interest. Because if you think about a real Christmas tree, and even if you do have a real Christmas tree, you can still do this. If you think about a real Christmas tree, probably they will have, you know, varying colors right on the tips of the branches. So adding real foliage in, I think, is such a great way to elevate a fake Christmas tree. It works wonders. And if you are someone who is decorating quite early on, then think about getting kind of like the water holders that you would get when you get orchids from the flower market. They have water. You can add water to them and just put a cap on them and poke the stem in. So the branches are still getting some sort of water, but usually those things last you a long time. And honestly, I absolutely love it. You can also do this when it comes to your garlands that you're using to style your mantles and, you know, any kind of surface. You really just want to add a little bit of foliage in there, and it will just bring it to life. Sometimes what I have done as well is add magnolia leaves when I was going for like a magnolia themed Christmas. I thought this was fantastic. It looks super elevated. They will dry out eventually, but you can just replace them because they're so cheap. And also bring in foliage for that festive feel by just having a vase and adding a bunch of pine leaves or golden cypress leaves or any kind of Christmas looking leaf, just put it in a vase, add some water or a vessel. You can put it in a vase and then put the vase in the vessel. But either way, you are just bringing that whole vibe and feeling of Christmas in through the leaves. Like imagine being somewhere where there's tons and tons of Christmas trees and you're just doing that in different spaces in your home. You can add this to your bathroom for a lovely feel. You can add this maybe to, your guest bathroom, to your living room, to your entryway. Focus on the places that are high traffic areas, especially if you are entertaining a lot. And even in your bedroom, sometimes you might not want to add a Christmas tree in your bedroom. I know people do it for their kids, but maybe as an adult, you don't want to. You can if you do. But I would also think about this as an alternative. Just get a vessel or a vase and add some Christmas vibey leaves. But either way, it's up to you. But in your room, just literally grab a vessel or a vase and add some of these leaves and it will just literally bring that vibe of Christmas into your bedroom space or any space that you choose. The next tip is to incorporate texture into your baubles. I believe I alluded to this before, but honestly, having a variety of baubles, maybe where you have some that are shiny, you have some that are glittery, you have some that are velvet, it really makes a huge difference to the way your tree looks, because then everything doesn't kind of look one-dimensional. And obviously it depends on the style you're going for and what you feel most comfortable with. But if you want to add some variety and elegance to your tree, get some velvet baubles, get some flocked baubles, get some baubles that maybe just are a bit out of the ordinary. For me, when I have those are typically kind of my glass ornaments, and I'm going to show them to you. So I have a couple here, some that I've had for years and years and years, but I absolutely love the variety when it comes to shape in this. It looks slightly different, it's glass. And then something like this, for example, this bauble I absolutely adore. I got it from the flower market. It's glass, but I love the texture that's at the top, just something different. And then this as well, but you see how like if I brought them all together, they would work quite well together. Absolutely adore them. Let me step out of the frame so that it can focus and show you guys. Absolutely stunning, and it just adds variety and texture to your tree. It doesn't just have to be glass baubles. I've also done this through having glitter kind of based baubles, and I love that predominantly it's silver, but there's pieces of like rose gold coloring that comes through, which I think works well with my bronze baubles. But again, this is what I mean by adding texture to your tree. You can also add texture through things like flowers or flower picks, and I love these. They're usually artificial, but I really love the fact that there's texture on them, velvet, sequin, different for me. This is very red for me. But even if I end up not choosing to use this on a tree, like even if I back out of using red, I can have a garland, and I bought a radiator cover, which I'm sure you guys can see in the background. That's not normally there because I was like, I don't have a mantelpiece, a mantelpiece. I don't have a mantle, a fireplace with a mantle, so I need somewhere else to decorate apart from my console table and my TV stand. And I got these. This is slightly different to this, but even if I wanted, I could just put a garland and kind of weave these through, and it would just be beautiful. I can only imagine it would just absolutely be stunning. But you can add different things. I know sometimes they sell flower picks that are just like the berries on their own. You can add those to your tree and it will look magnificent. The next tip that I would add is to think outside the box when it comes to decorating your space. For example, hanging mini wreaths on cabinets. I saw this once, I think a couple years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. And I just love the way it looks. You can do it on windows, especially if you have floor to ceiling windows. But even if you don't, it's just so beautiful. It's something that people will probably get to see from the outside looking in. And I just love using a command hook on the back of my cabinet, sticking that, and I never take the command hook down. I literally just leave it. Sticking that and then tying a piece of ribbon around it and then draping the ribbon down the front and just having mini wreaths hanging from the cabinets. It just adds that festive feel in other places that is not just the Christmas tree, because sometimes it's like a corner of your home has Christmas going on and then the rest is kind of, what do we do with it? So think outside the box when it comes to how you incorporate that festive feel throughout the house, because it can really make a difference. Speaking of thinking outside the box and using things that are not ordinary, you can add a festive feel through things like pillowcases, okay? And the great thing is you can use these over and over again. You don't have to keep them out all year. Just get the covers, pillowcases, cushion covers. Get the covers and then just like swap to your normal cushion covers for the rest of the year. But generally for all seasons, Christmas, spring, I love refreshing my home through using cushion covers. And this one says Happy Holidays. It's super cute. I got this from H&M Home. Absolutely love it. And then I thought this was super elegant as well. It's got that, I never know if I'm saying this correctly, toile, I think, T-O-I-L-E or I-L-L-E, kind of vibe going on, and it's just like a Christmas scene. or like reindeer, kind of that cabin vibe. Once the cushions are inside it, it will actually feel better. If you can, feel free to double stuff your cushion because it will feel great. I'm thinking about adding these to my bedroom and the other ones to the living room. Again, just to bring that festive feeling in without having to go all out and decorate in other spaces like my bedroom. So yeah. Also, you can choose to do something different, like putting your Christmas tree in a planter. Again, I saw this online and I was like, oh, definitely, this is a bit of me. And I've done this previously with a round planter, but this year, I found a square planter, which feels more appropriate to me because it kind of reminds me of a Christmas box, like a box that's wrapped under the tree that you would see. And it looks like a planter. I know it's a planter, I can tell it's a planter, but I love the look of it visually. I'm not a Christmas tree skirt person naturally, so I love this look, and it's great, especially because you can add things to the planter and use it to elevate the height of your tree. So my tree just didn't feel tall enough for me, but now that I've got it on some cardboard boxes inside of a planter, it feels fantastic. Absolutely love it. The final tip is to use lights to your advantage. Honestly, I think when you think about Christmas, you think about the twinkle lights, you think about how beautiful things look at night, especially because in this period, typically it gets darker quicker and it can feel gloomy, and it's just nice to have twinkly lights going on in your home, and it feels festive and it feels warm and inviting. So use lights to your advantage. Make sure you have the appropriate amount of lights for your Christmas tree because this really makes a huge difference. I have, for some reason, I changed a year or two ago to a Christmas tree that wasn't pre-lit, and I feel like it's the bane of my existence having to wrap the tree in lights. I really dislike it. Because it just takes a while, because I want to make sure I'm going in and around the branches, really wrapping to make sure every single part is covered in lights. But it takes a while, and I would just recommend having a pre-lit tree. And even if then you want to, you can go in and add more lights to the pre-lit tree. But either way, use lights to your advantage. Add lights maybe to the top of your cabinets, add lights inside your bookcases, like do something different, but use lights to your advantage. And this could even be just making sure you don't use the big lights in the festive period. Use your little lights, use your lamp, use your sconces, and use candles. These are all little things that will add to that festive feel and just make everything feel cozy and really Christmassy. But if you guys couldn't tell by the speed at which I was working through this video, I'm super excited for Christmas. I just love it. I absolutely adore it. I adore the festive period, and I can't wait to show you guys the finished look as I work through. Some of these videos that I will share here and there will just be me kind of working through and styling, and we will also hopefully get to do some Christmas tablescapes, which are super exciting. But yeah, it's time for the Christmas decorations, y'all. It is time for the Christmas decorations. Let's go. I'll see you guys next time on whatever video you see next. Bye.